Thank you, Kathy, for giving me the opportunity to speak today. This is an absolute first for me, and truthfully, I'm feeling some of that imposter syndrome as to the worthiness of even being here in front of you. And at the same time, gosh darn it, I'm thrilled to be able to address my fellow queers and allies. To give a little history lesson before we move on concerning my use of the word queer, as Kathy had spoken to earlier. It has historically been used by straight people to denigrate, insult, and cause harm to gay people. For some LGBTQ plus people, it is still very much a word they never speak or want to hear used. While for others, myself included, it's been reclaimed to give power and solidarity to the oppressed. You could compare it to the N-word, which is never to be spoken by white people. However, it's been reclaimed by some people within the Black community. So if my using the word queer today is an ouch to any LGBTQ plus people present, I apologize, as it's a word that I've come to embrace as it speaks to the myriad of individuals who comprise the LGBTQ community. If anyone has questions on that or anything else that I put forward today, please let's talk via email or telephone. I'm all about engaging in dialogue, and no question is ever a dumb question, okay? What an incredible blessing it is to celebrate this Pride Sunday with you. Happy Pride, everyone. It's been a dream of mine to be part of a Catholic community that wholeheartedly celebrates and honors LGBTQ plus faithful. So when our priest said yes to the request for a Pride Mass, wow, amazing, and completely not surprising of our women priests, right? Can we give them a clap? They are pure love and light. Now, I could go down the road and talk about the many years and many meetings with clergy and the bishop of my former diocese, where my request for an intentional recognition of queer faithful, most especially during Pride Month, was denied. Here's a sample of a conversation I had with a priest regarding that. Me to this priest: would you consider using the letters LGBTQ in a sermon? The priest said no. If you won't use the letters, at the very least, could you maybe just wear a rainbow pin, which I had in my hand for him? Honest, Father, you don't have to say anything. The pin would speak volumes for the community, and letting all faithful who come to you for communion know that they are safe and that you're welcoming. Sadly, you can take a guess as to how those meetings concluded. But here, on this day, this liturgy is about love and joy. This liturgy is a celebration. This is a space. This space is a reclaiming of our want, our need for acknowledgement that we LGBTQ plus faithful are divine, sacred, and fully who we are meant to be. To quote Bell Hooks, the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. Love is as love does. Love is an act of will, namely both an intention and an action. Will also implies choice. We do not have to love. We choose to love. And to love well is the task in all meaningful relationships. And isn't that ultimately what we all want for ourselves and for each other in our relationship with our Creator? Love. Unconditional love, for there is no other. If love has conditions attached to it, it is not of God. It's of human beings who put limits or boundaries to love. There are no boundaries to sacred love. Let me say that again, most especially for my fellow queers. There are no boundaries to sacred love. God wants to be in relationship with us and wants us in loving relationships. We are part and parcel of the divine Christ. To be out of relationship with the divine because we are LGBTQ+ and have been deemed something less or sinful is the sin. Don't buy it, folks. We are all divine. So here's the part where I get on my soapbox to call out St. Augustine and the doctrine of original sin. In my book, the concept of original sin has left Catholicism with a gigantic inferiority complex. To be saddled with original sin from birth is just ridiculous. To be taught that we are sinners is wrong. We are not sinners. We are lovers. Original sin is an invention to keep the faithful in line and coming back for more controlled instruction. It's a power trip, and it's dangerous. It's led to families believing the nonsense of sin and throwing their kid out on the streets when their kid comes out to them as queer. It's incredibly dangerous for trans people when they are villainized and their health care is being legislated out of existence, which is basically human erasure. We can see nationally how the rhetoric of sin is playing out in the policing of queer people and their bodies. The church is responsible for the danger it has put LGBTQ people in, and of course is unwilling to recognize that. Pope Francis moved the glacier slightly in how the church ministers to queer members. When I asked my former pastor years ago if we could start a Catholic LGBTQ faith sharing group, the answer was a hard no. Yet he went on to tell me that he baptized the baby of a lesbian couple he knew. Great. But when I asked him what would happen to that baby if, when they came out as queer later in life, how would their church minister to them? He had no words. Most Catholic communities, with exceptions to several in my home state of New Jersey and throughout the country, quietly go about ministering to their queer faithful without making any effort to acknowledge their lived experiences. Keep it quiet and call it a day. Every now and then there may be something that comes from Rome, but it's too little, too late. I call these advances crumbs of love. No one can be sustained on crumbs. The traditional Catholic Church left me starving. Can you imagine the tenacity of queer faithful? To remain in a church that has not removed horrific language classifying LGBTQ+ people as intrinsically disordered. That, my friends, is definitely not love. And yet the queers are still here. Talk about maintaining a relationship with divine. God bless us. That's why this day, this place, and time within our beloved St. Mary Magdalene community is so important and to be cherished. To quote our Eileen, the good news is because there is always good news. This community is special and sacred and centered in love. We are seen, we are fed and nourished by the sheer tenacity of incredible people who want so much more in our faith journey together. We come together each week and leave with our spirit quite full. No crumbs of love here. It's a full course meal with extra dessert and a cherry on top. It's a circular community where each and every one of us is valued and loved for who we are. And to throw in a little Thomas Merton, love is, in fact, an intensification of life, a completeness, a fullness, a wholeness of life. Life curves upward to a peak of intensity, a high point of value and meaning, at which all its latent creative possibility go into action and the person transcends themselves in encounter, response, and communion with another. It is for this that we came into the world, this communion and self-transcendence. We do not become fully human until we give ourselves to each other in love. Finally, in conjunction with the third reading today, I'd like to finish by bringing forward a Hindu mantra, Soham. Its meaning is, I am that, as in, I am one with the universe. For today, I'm borrowing this mantra and would like us to focus our understanding of Soham on the word beloved. Please sit back in your seat. Shut your eyes if you'd like. We'll breathe in on so and out on hum, focusing on the word beloved. So breathe in, hum, I am beloved. So, hum, I am beloved. Thank you for this time. God bless, and happy Pride, everyone.